Welcome back to Before You Do with Verlyn. I'm your favorite premarital coach and the auntie you didn't know you needed. This is the go-to podcast helping prepare 1 million to be and stay happily married. And today we're going to chat about mindset shifts and how to dispel the idea that there are not enough good men left for those of you who want one. This is common. We hear so many negative thoughts and negative ideas about men, how they don't want to do this and they don't want to do that. It's not enough good ones out here. And the first thing I want to say is it's said to be over, 8 billion people on the planet. Surely there's one for you. You only need one good man. You're not the Marines. You're not looking for a few good men, right? You just need one. And so that's one of the first mindsets we need to get out of, ladies, saying there aren't enough good men out here, or there aren't enough men, period. You don't need good men. You only need one. And so if you begin to start from that, just that process alone, that you're not looking for good men, you're looking for one good man. And let me just talk about the whole looking for, because I hear lots of people say, well, we're not supposed to be looking for men. They're supposed to find us. A man who finds a wife finds a good thing. I get it, right? But let's do this. Let's look at the times we're in, number one. And while that is true, that does not mean, ladies, that you don't have to be active, okay? You can't just sit around in your house thinking that a good man is going to drop through your ceiling and end up on your couch, okay? There are some things that you have to do to prepare, all right, to make yourself, or rather put yourself in a position to be found, all right? If someone's looking for something, but it's hidden or it's put far away, how is that particular thing going to be found? So again, start with the mindset. There's one man out there out of 8 billion, over 8 billion people on the planet. There most likely is one for you. There is your person. What happens is we are told these things over and over. It becomes a mantra, and we take these sayings or opinions as truth. And I'm not saying that the experiences that you've had are not valid, okay? Because a lot of conversations I've had is, well, I'm out and about. They're not men that are interested in being married. They're not men that are approaching me. I'm not feeling seen. I get it. I get that. But let me tell you, there are things that you can do, and I'm working on a program as we speak. There are things you can do to put yourself in a position to be seen, to be noticed, to be attractive. And I'm not talking about just to any old Joe Blow, yo boy. I'm talking about marriage-minded men. You'd be surprised that there are men that are actively looking and wanting a wife. And being in the podcast space, I'm hearing it even in conversations that men are saying there are no women out here. Hence, we have the online, and my opinion varies about that. I think it can work. I think it has to be done, first of all, safely and with a huge amount of discernment, right? And that it should not be done alone. That when you are scrolling through these profiles and things like that, you need to have somebody sitting there with you just in case oh, that's my cousin Bobo. He's married. No, you need to have some input. But I don't want to digress into that. That's another topic for another time. What I'm saying is this. The men that are out there, they are looking. Why is it that there are women here saying, I want to be married, and there are men out here that are looking, and some kind of way these two are not matching up? I don't know why that is, but I know that it does exist. And so this is what I present to you, ladies. There are many things that we need to work on, right? Again, it starts with the mind, then it moves to the outer appearance, and then it moves into where are you positioning yourself? Are you still going to the same church you've been at for 10, 15, 20 years? where it's 2,000 members and 16 of those are men and half of those are married men, hello, you need to reevaluate where you are spending your time, where you are investing your time. There are marriage-minded men out there, but you have to put yourself into the places where they are. Again, they're not going to drop out of the ceiling. And what I'm saying is not about chasing. I'm talking about attracting. And I'm not saying woo-woo stuff. I'm saying that, let me put it this way. And I use this analogy a lot because I'm really familiar with it. My husband and I have purchased homes, right? And each time we purchased a home, we ended up selling it. Well, we understood we need to sell this house. That's the only way it made sense, especially to purchase another home, right? But what we had to do, we had to bring in an expert, all right, a realtor or a real estate agent. He or she would come to our home and evaluate and say, okay, I'm looking at the walls, I'm looking at the floors, I'm looking at your furniture, the pictures, like every single thing in that home. And that agent will tell us, you know what, you might like these pink walls, but that's not for a good market. That's not a good sale. People don't want to come to your home, right? See pink walls and think, oh my goodness, the first thing I'm gonna have to do is paint. What's in? What's in are beige walls, walls that are neutral that will go with any color pattern of furniture, okay? You got to take all pictures down of Big Mama and all your family. When people come in the house, they want to imagine themselves in the home. They don't want to see Big Mama and Uncle Bobo and everybody else and see that as their home. They're going to look at your yard and they're going to say, let's get that grass cut. Let's trim those bushes. Plant some yellow flowers. Yellow's very warm and inviting. People get happy when they see that. Well, if my mindset is, nope, these are my walls. I want to keep them whatever color I want them. And I want to keep pictures of Big Mama. And I don't like yellow flowers. I like roses. However, that's what you like. That's what you have. But that is not what's marketable. And so the agent will tell you, I've looked at comps, or that is houses in the area, and this is what they sell for. They sell for $250,000, $265 max. And you're saying, well, this is my house. I put a lot of money into it. This house is worth $800,000. That's what I want you to sell it for. Well, guess what? That market is not dictating what you're saying. The market dictates that these houses in your area with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths go for $250 to $265. So if you want to get that house sold, right? If you want to make that house marketable, you have to paint the walls, plant some flowers, put it in a price range that people will be willing to offer. It's the same way. When you hear people, there's not enough men, can't find a man, all of that, what or how are you making yourself marketable? If you're not being approached, if you don't feel seen, you have to ask yourself, what's going on, right? Am I in the right places? How am I looking? Ask yourself, what vibe am I putting out there? How is my face? Am I smiling? Or am I looking very serious, like, don't talk to me, don't approach me? Are you out looking and being and showing up as your best self? These are questions that you have to ask yourself. These are questions that will cause you to be self-aware. Men, as I have stated several times before, are very visual. They can't see your bank account. They can't see the good stock family that you come from. They cannot see your education, all the degrees. What they see is you, your face, your look, all right? Your attitude. Think about it. How are you showing up? Or are you doing like what people say when they're trying to sell a house? Nope. I'm not changing anything. People can take it or leave it. Either buy the house as is or whatever. Well, sometimes you're in for a rude awakening, because if you want $800,000 and the houses in your area are selling for $250,000, you're going to be staying in that house for a long time. So what I'm saying is, and I'm not getting into the depths of this right now, but think about how you're showing up. Think about your mindset. There's so many layers to this, although it's not as complicated as it seems. Ladies, there are ways that you can become attractive. And I'm not saying, again, be seen by the yo boys and the people who are not taking relationships or women or marriage seriously, but men who are marriage minded. And I know what I'm talking about because I have been married. And let me tell you, I am a divorcee, meaning, of course, I was divorced. And I wasn't sure if I would ever be able to get married again. Why? I figured I had my shot, right? And so my mindset, what are the chances that I'll actually be married again and happy? Well, guess what? It happened. And there's a formula to it. Believe it or not, we don't think about these things. Everything has a mindset. Everything has, I would say, actionable steps, even in relationships. Again, we're not talking about any woo-woo stuff. We're talking about very practical tips. And I am excited because I am in the process of putting together a program for women who said they don't feel seen or acknowledged when they are out. I understand that. And I understand the mindset shift that has to change first. And that might entail healing, right? Personal healing of mind, personal healing of thoughts, personal healing of past. And I am a relationship premarital coach certified. I'm not a therapist. However, sometimes you may get a therapist who can help you, or you may need to get a counselor, right, who can help you work through the past so that you're not showing up still that past woman who was hurt, who was left, who was denied, right, who was cheated on, whatever you want to call it. That woman needs to heal. And when you can heal and that vibe is gone, then you begin to take off all the layers that has you trapped in the mindset that you don't attract men or that you are not seen. And it could be a season that you are protected from being seen until healing takes place. Because how do you know that you're healed, right? Unless you see the mind shift and the changes. You don't want to take yourself into another situation unhealed. Why? Because you take you everywhere you go. If you were hurt in your last relationship and if you're not healed, you're going to take the hurt you into the next relationship. And it may be the perfect man for you, but you're not showing up as the healed you. You're still showing up as the hurt, abandoned, rejected, not feeling love you. And so that's a part of mindset. That's a part of your spiritual awakening that needs to be healed. And then you can begin to work on the outer appearance. And then you can begin to work on where you're positioning yourself to be found. Again, we're not talking about chasing men. I have never, ever chased a man in my life. You don't have to chase, right? But you can become attractive. And there's a total difference. Let me tell you, you are already there. You just have to get healed. You just have to put forth the effort to bring that woman out. And that's part of the program that I'm working on. So I can work with women who are saying, I don't feel seen. I don't feel attractive. You don't have to hold on to that feeling. I have a foolproof method that I've lived. This is not something I read about in a book. This is something I'm going to write about in a book. If there's one thing I know, and that is how to get a good man. And any of my friends will be able to vouch, okay? It doesn't mean it didn't come without effort, all right? Everything comes through effort, not just sitting down, thinking and believing, and that's it, right? You have faith, but you also have works. You have faith, but you also have effort. And I'm telling you, this program that I'm getting ready to put out is going to knock your socks off. Ladies, prepare yourself. All right? I'm excited about it. I'm not going to get into it right now, but I promise you, if you feel unseen, if you feel like you're not attractive, if you feel like there's nobody out there for you, you don't have to feel that way for long. I promise you. You don't have to feel that way for long. Again, out of over 8 billion people on the planet, there's one out there for you. So begin to go into your optimistic brain. Begin to think differently. My desire is to see 1 million women happily married. Happily married. And it's going to take some preparation on your part. And that's okay. Anything worth having is worth putting forth the effort. And I'll tell you one thing we need to start doing, ladies. Get your mind off of social media and all the voices of mad women, men hating women, men aren't this and men aren't that. And what are they bringing to the table? Look, since when are we having all this table talk? We're talking about a relationship, right? Get over the whole table thing. That's part of the problem. We're listening to too many voices with too much negativity around relationships. Too many women who don't have a man, who had a man, lost a man. Now they're trying to keep you from getting one and losing the one you got. Think. Look at things that are positive. Emulate women who are in the space where you want to be. If they're angry, that's not the person you need to be looking at. Keep on scrolling. Keep on scrolling, right? Swipe up, swipe up. These images constantly in our ear, these voices constantly in our ear, they do us a disservice more than you know. You need to focus on the positive. You need to focus on the goal. Set the goal. Set the intention and roll with that. If there's somebody out there saying negative things about relationships, I don't want to get married. Married is not, and let me back up. Married life is not for everyone. That is a choice. But I'm talking to those women who want to be married. Look at women who are happily married. Look at women who have positive things to say to encourage you to meet your goal. Those are the ones you need to be rocking with, not the ones who are doing opposite from you. Nothing gets accomplished when you look at somebody that's doing nothing and building nothing towards what it is that you're looking for. And that's what I'm here to say. That's where the mind shift starts. Okay? I appreciate you watching. I certainly hope you share. Smack that like button. All right? And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Please visit my website, verlyntarlton.com. That's V as in Victor, ERLYNTARLTON.com. I have freebies there. I have a couples vision board template. So if you're already engaged, you can sit down with your person and work some things out. Say, this is what I want. What do you want? And you can come together and share your vision of what marriage looks like for and to you. I have a digital magazine, which is fabulous. Check that out. And again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, especially if you know a woman who does not feel seen, or maybe she's not feeling attractive, or she's feeling kind of blah about relationships, right? Share this video out. Share my channel. All right. Thank you for watching again. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay tuned for my new courses that are coming out and my book on how to be seen, how to be attractive. Again, there is a formula. There are actionable steps, and I'll share that with you at a later date. Thank you for joining me. May you experience extraordinary love. Bye for now.